In this video, we're going to talk about top-level automations and how to create one. So in this example, I have two boards in the marketing group here, content marketing and a marketing campaign board. And I'd like to apply a couple automations to both of these boards. So I'm going to use top-level automations here in the left-hand navigation. We're going to go there. If you watched our onboarding video, it went over the different types of automations that are available in our system. We have top level, which are these, board level, which only apply to boards. And then within the top level automations, we have different types: rules, schedulers, and batch operations. Rules trigger based on events that happen in Rindle. Schedulers trigger based on time, like a bot. And batch operations trigger based on a button. So you can do batch operations like replacing an assignee. So in this example, we're going to create a rule that applies to these marketing boards. So I'm going to go in the top right corner here and click Create. And here you can apply this to tasks, lists, boards, or users. In this case, we are trying to fire an automation based on an event that happens on a task. So I'm going to go ahead and select Task. And I only want to execute this on the marketing boards in that group. So I'm going to customize this and then add a condition for the board group to equal marketing. Now this rule will only fire on boards in this group. We're going to go ahead and add some actions that happen when it's moved to review. So I'm going to go ahead and call this rule review and explain what we're going to do. We're going to add a tag and we're going to send a notification. I'm going to put this rule in a marketing group so I can keep those organized. So now, based on the trigger here, we have triggers available that are no code, pre-built. So you have a lot of options here to choose from. For this example, I'm going to choose to, when I move or add it to a list, so moved or added task as the trigger. And then I'm going to add a condition because I only want it to fire when it's moved to the review list. So I'm going to add a couple conditions here. One, which is a really good practice, is type. And I only want it to fire on a parent task, meaning a top level task, not a subtask. And I want the list to equal review. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and apply these conditions. Then I'm going to add an action to add a tag. And we're going to go ahead and select the tag for in review. Then I'm going to add another action to send a notification. We're going to notify by email. And we're going to add the subject line as review. And the message body, this task must be reviewed. And we'll send the email to a user. And we're going to send it to Brian Faust. You can add CCs and BCCs here as well. You can include a link to the task, or you can choose to link to the parent task or not include a link at all. So we're going to link to the task. And then where do you want the replies to go? The replies will go right to the task by default, or you can have replies go to a specific board owner, no replies to anybody, or the triggered user. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and enable this rule. And we're going to go ahead and save it. So now when I go back to my boards here, we'll go to marketing boards. If I go into content marketing and I go ahead and move blog post here to review, I'm going to move it over. It's going to add the tag and it's going to send off an email. And we did receive that email here. You see the subject line review, this task must be reviewed, and then it gives information and links to the task itself. So now if I go back to boards and I go to my other marketing board, the marketing campaign, that rule will also apply to this board. So if I move Facebook ad campaign to review, it will fire in the same fashion, add a tag, as well as send an email. Right, now if we go back to automations, we can see our rule. We can filter and sort here in the top corner. So I'm going to filter by marketing because that's what group we put it in. There's our rule. you can see that it shows that it's active. It shows the automation name, its ID, which is important to reference in activity logs and things like that, where it executes on, last activation. So to edit the rule, you could just click on it, make the changes that you want to make, and go ahead and save it